For my tourism area life cycle analysis, I have chosen Boracay Island in the Philippines. Boracay is one of Southeast Asia's most well-known beach destinations, famous for its long white sand beach and the wide variety of tourism activities offered on the island. So the island is divided into three main baranggays, Austay, which is Palaban, Yapan, and Manok Manok, which serve as the local communities and administrative area. So tourism activities are main concentrate along the western coast, organized into Station 1, Station 2, and Station 3. So these three zones separate luxury resorts, mid-range accommodation, nightlife areas, and various beachfront activities that help me manage the flow of visitors. Boracay gained strong international attention as it was consistently ranked among the world's best islands. So this popularity led to rapid growth in tourist arrival, with many hotels, restaurants, and business opening to meet the demand. So tourism quickly became the main source of income for the local community, providing employment in hospitality, transport, food service, and water-based recreation. However, this rapid development also created challenges such as overcrowding, waste management problems, and also pressure on natural resources. In this presentation, I will explain Boracay's development through the TALC stage and discuss the key historical, socio-economic, environmental, and policy factors that influence its growth and revitalization. So now, let's talk about the history of Boracay. Boracay was originally home to the Ati people, which is a native community who relied on fishing, farming, and forest resources. So it represents an important part of the island's cultural heritage. So in Boracay, tourism started in the 1970s when backpackers and foreign travelers discovered Boracay's natural beauty. At that time, the island was quiet, largely undeveloped, and visited by those who seeking an untouched paradise. So in 2000, tourism grew rapidly. Hotels, resort, restaurant, and nightlife areas were developed, so turning Boracay into one of the most popular beach destinations in Asia. However, its rapid growth caused overcrowding and environmental problems. By 2018, the situation became critical, with waste management issues, water pollution, and unregulated construction. So to address this, the government closed Boracay for 6 months to rehabilitate the island. After reopening it, strict sustainability rules were introduced, including visitor limits, regulation of beachfront business, and also stronger environmental enforcement. Next, let's look at the tourism development of Boracay using the TALC model, which clearly shows how the island processed through different stages over time. So the first stage is the exploration stage, which took place in the 1970s. So during this period, Boracay was mainly discovered by backpackers. So there were only a few small inns, very basic facilities, and almost no formal tourism infrastructure. So visitors came for the untouched beach and the quiet natural environment. Moving into the involvement stage around the 1980s to the 1990s, the local community began participating more actively. So residents started offering simple service like lodging, food, boat trips, and handicraft. Visitors' number increased gradually, but tourism was still considered like small-scale and community-driven. Then, Boracay entered the development stage during the 2000 up to 2017. So this was the period of rapid growth. Large hotels, restaurants, bars, and commercial establishments appeared. Infrastructure improved, and Boracay became internationally famous. By 2017, the island was receiving more than 2 million visitors per year, making its peak popularity in that time. However, this led to the stagnation stage, and environmental pressures such as overcrowding, water pollution, and unregulated construction caused the island to struggle. In 2018, the government made the decision to close Boracay for 6 months, which caused tourist arrival to drop around 1.5 million. So this movement clearly represents stagnation due to unsustainable growth. So after rehabilitation, Boracay entered the rejuvenation stage. So the island reopened with strict environmental rules, improved waste management, and a stronger focus on sustainability. As a result, tourist arrival began to rise again, reaching 2.20 million visitors by 2023. So this shows that Boracay is recovering and moving toward more controlled, responsible tourism growth. Now let's talk about visitor statistics. Boracay has always been one of the most visited islands in the Philippines. Before the 2018 rehabilitation, the island recorded over 2 million tourist arrivals every year, which placed a lot of pressure on its environment and facilities. After the island reopened in 2018, the number of visitors dropped to around 1.5 million in 2019. So this decrease was intentional because the government introduced new limits to control overcrowding. So in terms of tourist profile, most visitors are domestic tourists, especially from Manila and other major Philippine cities. However, Boracay also received many international travelers. So the top foreign markets are from Korea, China, and the United States, which contribute significantly to the island tourism revenue. For seasonality, Boracay has a very clear seasonal pattern. So the peak season is from November to May, when the weather is dry and many tourists travel for holidays. So for the low season, it falls between June and October, mainly due to rainy weather and occasional typhoon. And for tourist management, to ensure more sustainability tourism, the government now requires visitors to stay only in accredited hotels, and there are daily visitors limits to avoid overcrowding. So these controls help the island manage its tourism flow more responsibly. I want to explain about tourism policies in Boracay. After years of rapid and uncontrolled tourism growth, Boracay experienced serious environmental degradation. Because of this, the Philippine government introduced a set of strict tourism policies, especially during and after the 2018 6-month closure. One major policy is the 30-meter beachfront easement, which is ensure that no buildings are too close to the shoreline. So this results in the removal of illegal structure that block public access and contribute to coastal erosion. The island also invests heavily in sewage treatment, drainage improvement, and proper waste management system. So these upgrades were necessary because untreated wastewater used to flow directly into the sea, which is harming marine ecosystem. So to manage overcrowding, the government introduced visitors capacity limit and stricter hotel accreditation rules. So only establishments that follow environmental and safety standards are allowed to operate. So the overall direction of Boracay tourism policy is now focused on sustainability, which is encouraging eco-friendly tourism, educating tourists about responsible behavior, and ensuring that tourism benefits both community and the environment. Now, let's break the socio-economic factor in Boracay. Tourism plays a major role in Boracay's economy. It provides a significant source of employment and income for local residents. So many people work in hotels, restaurants, transport service, water sport, and tour operation, which create a diverse range of livelihood opportunities. However, the benefits of tourism also come with certain socio-economic challenge. So one issue is the higher cost of living. As tourism grows, food prices, accommodation rents, and general expense tend to rise, affecting local residents. Another challenge is seasonal employment, which is many jobs depend on tourist number, so income becomes unstable during off-season months or during travel-related disruption. Community and culture. After the 2018 rehabilitation, the government encouraged stronger community involvement, so local residents now have a greater voice in decision-making, and training programs help them participate more effectively in sustainable tourism initiatives. A very important social-cultural aspect is the presence of the indigenous ethnic community. In recent years, development plans have emphasized the need to protect ethnic rights, support their cultural identity, and also include them in tourism activities in a respectful and meaningful way. Now I will explain about environmental factor in Boracay. So Boracay's popularity brought a lot of tourists, but it also caused some serious environmental problems. With so many visitors, the beach got crowded, trash built up, and the coral reef started getting damaged. Untreated sewage also affected the water, which harmed fish and other marine life. So the rapid development of hotels and resorts cleared out vegetation and wetlands, and the shoreline began to erode. So all of these, combined with the pressure on water and energy resource, show that tourism had gone too far without proper planning. This problem, the government closed Boracay for 6 months in 2018. So during that time, they restored damaged area and put rules in place to protect the environment. Now the island has visitor limits, regular monitoring, and encourage eco-friendly tourism, so people can still enjoy Boracay without hurting it. So this measure help ensure that Boracay stays beautiful and sustainable for both tourists and the local community.
For my part, I will explain Boracay's current stage in the tourism area life cycle model. Today, Boracay is in the rejuvenation stage. This happened because the island previously suffered from over-tourism, severe environmental damage, and overcrowding, which pushed it into a crisis. As evidence, the Philippine government closed Boracay in 2018 for 6 months to remove pollution, rebuild infrastructure, and control tourist numbers. I will also discuss the key factors that influence Boracay's movement through the stages, including infrastructure development, facilities, local community responses, tourist activities, and environmental consideration. Now, I will explain Boracay's movement through the tourism area life cycle, or TALC. First, exploration to involvement. Boracay was initially visited by a few tourists attracted to its natural beauty, such as white beach and clear waters. More of it visitors came through word of mouth, and locals began offering basic services like homestays, food stall, and boat trip. Community participation increased and marking the move to the involvement stage. Next is involvement to development. Tourist demand grew rapidly and investors built large resorts and modern facilities. Infrastructure improved with better roads and transport, and organized tourism service developed. This development helped Boracay grow quickly and move into the development stage. Then, development to stagnation. Overcrowding and congestion increased. Sewage and waste system became overloaded. Tourist satisfaction dropped, and the environment was damaged. These issues, along with overdevelopment, has pushed Boracay into the stagnation stage. Finally, stagnation to rejuvenation. In 2018, the Philippine government closed Boracay for 6 months to address these issues. During this time, sewage, drainage, and waste management systems were improved, and stricter rules and tourist limits were introduced. Business were regulated, and environmental areas were protected. The island reopened with a focus on sustainable tourism, with eco-friendly activities and limits on visitors to reduce on the environment. These measures help move Boracay into the rejuvenation stage. In summary, Boracay's progression through the TALC stages has shown us how tourism growth, environmental challenge, and government intervention has shaped the island to a more sustainable destination. Now, I will explain the 5 key factors that influence Boracay's progression through the tourism area life cycle stages. First, infrastructure development. Boracay's accessibility including airports, main roads, and transport systems. During the 2018 closure, the government upgraded sewage and drainage systems, improved main roads, regulated beachfront width with easement rules, and they also limited hotel construction and added solid waste management facilities. These upgrades help control overcrowding and support sustainable tourism. The next is facilities. The expansion of hotels, restaurants, and shops support rapid tourism growth. And after the closure, eco-friendly hotels and resorts were encouraged. The growth of water sport operators and the availability of tour services and beach facilities also increased commercial tourism, while these facilities attracted more visitors. Overcrowding and poor regulation had previously contributed to environmental stress. Stricter management after the closure helped to prevent the overdevelopment. The third factor is local community responses. Locals initially welcomed tourism for income opportunities, offering homestays, food stalls, and tours. Later, concerns about overcrowding, pollution, and rising living costs has emerged. Community participation increased to create awareness, more training was provided for sustainable tourism jobs, and local businesses were required to follow strict regulations. This effort has helped push Boracay towards rejuvenation. The fourth is tourism-related activities. Early tourists came for natural attractions like beaches, swimming, and diving. Over time, nightlife, parties, and mass tourism has caused overcrowding and environmental pressure. After 2018, eco-friendly activities such as island hopping, snorkeling, and paddleboarding were encouraged. Meanwhile, beach parties, smoking areas, and littering bans and a daily tourist cap were implemented to control overcrowding and protect the environment. Lastly, environmental consideration. Overdevelopment caused pollution, coral damage, and waste problems has leading Boracay to reach stagnation. The 2018 six-month closure has allowed rehabilitation. The key measures included restoring water quality, coral restoration programs, better waste management, protecting marine sanctuary areas, and banning structures to close to help manage. This action helped move Boracay into the rejuvenation stage. So overall, these 5 factors, which infrastructure, facilities, local communities response, tourist activities, and environmental management has shaped Boracay's progression through the TALC stages, and it ensures recovery. In conclusion, Boracay's development clearly reflects of the TALC stages, from initial exploration to involvement, rapid development, stagnation, and now rejuvenation. The island faces severe challenges such as overcrowding, environmental damage, and over-tourism, which led to the 6-month closure and rehabilitation in 2018. This intervention has allowed for infrastructure upgrades, stricter regulation, and the promotion of sustainable tourism practices. Overall, Boracay is now recovering and moving towards a more balanced and environmentally responsible future, showing how effective management and community participation can help a popular tourist destination regain its sustainability and appeal.